Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, at Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well, and are the true leaders of Israel today. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and your eye can push in this word throughout the four corners of the earth without truth and sincerity, making your calling and election sure. And I was watching the elders' camp session, man, and they mentioned how, the elders in Orlando, and they mentioned how the Lord has to sanction you to even be able to even understand this truth. And, precepts came to mind, and, to you, we're not, when you hear the words of the prophecies and you hear everything that, brothers are saying, it's not about nitpicking whatever you like, right? The Lord has sent down one truth, and that's it, right? He didn't come down here, let me just get this. Because that's what they're mentioning, man. That this is not. There's people here on the earth that have what you would call 100% truth, okay? Meaning 100% truth according to what is going to deliver us in the kingdom, right? 100% truth for salvation. Why would the Lord come down? Salaki, I did not put that. The Lord is not the author of confusion. There you go. The Lord did not come down here and bring confusion. Why would one camp have half the truth and another camp have another piece of the truth, and we're supposed to figure out who has it? No, man. That's not how this is set up. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For the Most High is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. And how is peace brought? By the understanding of the scriptures, man. By the understanding of Daniel, the 7th chapter, the 8th chapter, the prophecies, what the charagma is. Because the scriptures literally tell you to not waver in this ministry. How are you going to waver if you have 100% truth? Exactly. That means you're part of the elect. The Lord has opened your eyes to be able to see everything when it comes to the, grape doctrine, when it comes to the Mamzer doctrine, when it comes to, the stoning and the laws and all these things, man, not getting offended, right? That's all through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, okay? That's not even of us, okay? I'm going to start with my first precept. This is Matthew chapter 13. It's a lot here, man. Chapter 13 and verse 16. But blessed are your eyes. And let me actually read a verse up, because it goes into talking about how, the Lord has shut up their eyes, man. This is Matthew chapter 13 and verse 12. For whosoever had, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. Right? How much, of the Spirit was given unto you. But whosoever hath not, for him shall be taken away even that he has. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. This is why when the prophets and when the elders and the brothers, on down, they come out and break down these, prophecies, break down these scriptures, and show you, precept by precept, breaking it all the way down to a T. And for some reason they still can't understand. It's not because they're doing it wrong. It's not because they're not saying the right things at the right moment. It's because the Lord has blocked their understanding. And how can we prove that? Verse 14. And in them is fulfilled, because this is prophecy, and in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, right? They're hearing the words. You're going ham. You're teaching them this. You're going this to this precept, showing them this, that, and the third. And going into the Greek and going into the Hebrew and going into this, that, you showing them, you're breaking it down to a T. And for some reason, what? By hearing they shall hear and shall not understand. And seeing they shall see and shall not perceive. Then you got brothers going into the news, showing other brothers what's happening in real time and filtering it through the scriptures. But for some reason, they still cannot perceive what kind of time we're in, what type of time we're in, how close the Lord's return actually is. And really, the belief in the Lord through the prophecies. They still can't perceive that. But why? It's prophecy in verse 15. For this people's heart is mind. This people, when you go into that word heart, is what? La'ab. And it means mind. It's not a feeling that you get in a little tingling, oh, my heart loves. No. It's your mind. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have closed, lest at any time, but the Lord has sanctioned them for this, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears and should understand with their heart, with their mind, and shall be converted, and I shall heal them. Because if they were to understand what was going on, if they were able to see what was going on through the scriptures and through the prophecies, they would understand that, hey, the Lord is real and I got to repent before this shit cracks. But what did the Lord say? He said, lest means unless. Unless at any time they should see with their eyes, meaning that the Lord purposely doesn't want these 2/3 to see or hear or understand, because if they did all those three things, what would happen? They should be converted and I shall heal them. Verse 16, but blessed are your eyes for they hear. Salakia, blessed are your eyes for they see, and your ears for they hear. Verse 17, for verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men, because the scriptures say that many have been called, but few have been chosen. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which they see and have not seen them, and to hear those things which they hear and have not heard them. Why? Because we have a more sure word of prophecy than the prophets of old. So yeah, when the apostles and the elders, they say that, we know more than the prophets in the scriptures. It's true. Because not only are we those prophets coming back, but the scriptures even tell you that we have a more sure word of prophecy than them. But that goes to show that if we have a more sure word of prophecy than they do, how much more these 2/3? They don't even got a sense of these prophecies happening. They hear what we're talking about, watch these lessons, and they just laugh and scoff at us. I can believe it. And this is why the 2/3 got to go. All that 2/3, we need to teach the 2/3 to come back, and we got to love them. No, man. The 2/3 have their own lot. And the hopeful elect are going to be moving as the hopeful elect. That's why the scriptures say, put on therefore as the elect of the Most High in the book of... let's get it. Ephesians, if I'm not mistaken. Colossians, like it. You see, there's men on this earth as the hopeful elect, doing things as of the elect. And you have 2/3 doing things as the 2/3. So don't get mad when brothers are making lessons on, people that aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Because as prophets, as men of the Lord, as hopeful men of the Lord, those that are righteous, we expect to have a certain, standard of us. Just as we understand that if the 2/3 ain't doing what they're supposed to do, they're not going to make it. When you read the book of Baruch, the 4th chapter, those that leave the commandment shall die. And it was commanded of us to what? Go out to the highways and the byways and bid the elect to the marriage. Make these digital epistles. Right? Because and then that's another thing. When the apostles and the elders, our elders that we believe through faith, are sent by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, or have the truth of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the Spirit, they come out with a decree. Hey man, do this and this. You guys have to do this, that, and the third. We accept it. And we do it. Because we believe that they are the men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and the scriptures talk about obeying is better than giving sacrifice, or obeying is better than giving sacrifice. So this is Colossians 3:12. Put on therefore as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering, and you can read on, and it gives you certain attributes of what men of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua are supposed to be doing. And as the 2/3, if they're not doing these things, guess what? That's 2/3. So stop worrying about that shit. Who gives a fuck about them? When brothers are making lessons about them, getting on them, that's rightfully so. And that's for you hopeful like that do have the eye salve, which I'm gonna get in the book of Revelations, the third chapter. You that do have the eye salve and are able to see, are able to understand that, hey, that is true. They're not doing what they're supposed to do, and it's just what it is. Let me just get Baruch the 4th chapter. We brought it out last lesson, me and the Aki Kazakai. But let me just get it, because when you understand that the Lord is an austere man, he ain't some little white boy that accepts every little and last thing that brothers do with a little bare minimum. No, man. That shit is off. And let me just get the verse 1, and that's it. This is Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, right? Because there's all these scriptures when you read from Genesis unto Revelations, including the Apocrypha after the book of Malachi. It's all commandments. Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, that the law endureth forever. And who was the law given to the Israelites? Because this is for you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and you scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but believe on the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Regardless of what you look like, all they that keep it shall come to life, right? And what were some of the commandments that I mentioned earlier? Going out to the highways and the byways, bidding the elect to the marriage, and went to the chief place of concourse, doing what the dietary laws, and so on and so forth. Of course, we can't keep all the laws to a T. But that's what is the beginning of what the Lord starts dealing with you. Because when you read the book of Sirach, if I'm not mistaken, it says that the Lord cannot dwell, or the Spirit cannot dwell in a malicious soul that is subject unto sin. Meaning you're not even able to hold, any law, man. Just can't put down the pork for nothing. The Lord's not going to be dealing with that. So think about this. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life. And who's that? That's the hopeful elect. What I just read in the book of Colossians, the 3rd chapter. Those that are following the attributes of the elect. But such as leave it, the 2/3 shall die. Okay? That's plain and simple. The Lord is not a man that he shall lie. When you read the book of Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, we're hoping to get that mark, but the 12, which is the mark of exemption from judgment, it's a different word from mark in Revelation 13 and 16. Okay? That's that word mark in Ezekiel, so let me get it. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, because Jerusalem is a people before its place, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And who is that? The hopeful elect. What are we doing? Going out to the highways and the byways, week in and week out, right? Through all the seasons, making our bodies a living sacrifice for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, so that we may be able to what? Not get judged. Let's go into the next verse. Right? Verse 5, and to the others that are not doing what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai said, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite, meaning kill. Then are your eyes spared, neither have ye pity. They're not going to care how you feel, how you crying, how you're, mourning. And who is it talking about? Slay. You can look up that word for yourself, man. Slay. Let's go into that real quick. Just real quick. Look up. Probably get the first two definitions because we already know what's going to go into. Kill. That's the first definition for the word slay. Kill. A person in a violent way. Utterly old. Whoa. That's your grandma. That's your grandpa. That's, come on. Your little lovely old grandma. You help, carry your groceries out the store and shit. Slay utterly old and young. Those little kids you see that you be walking around having a good little time playing with your little plastic toys and shit. Both maids and little children. And maids is a woman. And it goes on to say what? And women. Just mention that shit again because you women are going to be, one of the worst to get it. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient men that were before the house, starting with the, Israelites, those that know about the truth. So, it's a blessing for your brothers to be able to, understand what brothers are bringing out. When they teach these words and you're able to receive it so easily and so, quickly, it's not because of yourself. It's not because of your mind. It's not because of what you eat or what's going on with your head. It's because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai giving you the outside. Let me go over to Revelations 3:19 before I get that. This is the book of Revelations 3:19. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, the elect, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment. Right? You can read that in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter, how we're cleaning ourselves. That thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. Which is why we hope to teach the right things, man. Which is why we're not scared. Let me get this before I go into that precept a little bit more. I already have it pulled up. This is Acts 20 and 27. For I have, let me read up. Let me get Acts 20. I'll probably start at 25. And now, behold, I know that ye all among whom I have gone preaching the kingdom of the Most High shall see my face no more. Verse 26, wherefore I take you to record this day that I am pure from the blood of all men. Why? Why is he pure from the blood of all men? Verse 27, for I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. UFOs, the charagma, the sea hip, the mark in Revelation 13 and 16. The grape doctrine, the Mamzer doctrine, the 2/3 doctrine. We have everything else that comes with this ministry. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of the Most High. Verse 28, take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over which the Ruach HaKodesh has made you overseers, to feed the church of the Most High, which hath purchased with his own blood. Right? Because Yahushua was that unblemished lamb that was sacrificed for the elect, man. Not for you 2/3. And this is why the hopeful elect are going to go out to the highways and the byways and not cop a 501c3, try to make money off this ministry, try to make you sign up for nothing. We're just going to go out there and teach you the truth. And only Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to be able to open your mind to be able to receive it. And that's why we're going to Revelation 3:18. And that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, because why? You're going to be able to receive this word, you're going to be able to repent, and you're going to be able to understand that these men are teaching the truth about the Bible. And anoint thy eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. And this is why it's so easy for you elect, man. When you read the book of 2nd Ezra 9th chapter, let me get this. This is why it's so easy for you brothers, to be able to receive this word, because the Lord has sanctioned you from the beginning, man. To be able to have your eyes anointed, wake up one day to this ministry and be able to understand everything that brothers are bringing out. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 9 and verse, verse 8. I'm going to start at 7. And everyone that shall be saved, again, the elect. You can read that in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. Let me just get it real quick. I'm trying to make this too long. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse. Y'all brothers got to hold on to this thing, man, for real. Because we're already coming to that time where we don't got too much time, honestly. The Fed now is they already said they're getting ready to really make that shit happen already. So, and you got brothers out on the highways and the byways constantly, teaching this word. And, the elders already even said that they feel like the elect already has been sealed. They're just waiting for the last couple. But this is the book of 2nd Ezra, Romans 9 and verse. Let me get it. Yep, right here. 27, Esaias, which is Isaiah, also crieth concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. And who is that remnant? The elect, because the Lord only has care for his elect. That's in the book of 2nd Ezra, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Yep. And that's all that this is about, man. This ministry is, there it is. This ministry is only about the elect. If you're not of the elect, then you're not going to make it. And the elect are going to have certain attributes to themselves to be of the elect, which is why when you read Colossians, the 3rd chapter, it's not mentioning anything about the law, which it is, but it's not necessarily tying it into the law. It's talking about behavioral attributes, because the scripture is talking about how do we wash ourselves? Through the washing of the word. That's how we clean ourselves, renewing our mind day by day. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, which all of us brothers have put our trust in him, man. Brothers have, even busted all the way out of their own, place that they naturally stay at or were living at to come and push the word, man. That's heavy in itself. They moved to whole different states just so that they can put their trust in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua and know that, hey, if I'm over here, I'm going to be doing the work. I'm going to be doing the truth. I'm going to be doing my thing for the Lord. Because I understand that that's what's going to be able to give me salvation from the times to come. And that's all that fucking matters. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with them. For grace and mercy is to his saints, which are Israelites. And he has care for his elect. That's point blank and period. So when you read, let's go back to it. 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved. Isn't this what everybody hopes for? Salvation? Let me get this. Salakia, man. Salakia. Precepts is coming to the mind. This precept is coming to mind. There it is. This is Jeremiah 3 and 28. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in the Lord our power is the salvation of Israel. There you go. Only you Israelites, and mainly the elect, which I just kind of went into a couple of precepts to prove, and there's a lot more precepts you can go into proving that. But truly in the Lord of our power is the salvation of Israel. anybody else outside of, you know, you Israelites. This is why we teach that you Israelites need to repent, man, and why it's so important to be an Israelite. You can read that even in the first chapter of Romans, the 9th chapter. Okay? But nonetheless, let's go back to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, and I'm going to close out. And everyone that shall be saved, because this is what we all hope for, right? Even these other nations, you know, these people in high governments and high positions, they even hope for salvation from the nukes and shit, because they understand what's getting ready to happen. But only in Israel is going to be saved, and only the elect is going to be saved. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape, because we're coming into some times, man, that, you know, brothers have had visions, you know, brothers have seen things that, you know, they understand that, man, this is not going to be something light. It's not going to be something sweet. You know, me and the Akia, because of Kai, you know, we even went into a lesson how, you know, the emotions and the feeling that Satan's going to use upon us in that time, because of everything that's going to be happening around us, man, screaming and panicking, and everybody's trying to find out what they're going to do at that time. And yeah, even us, you know, that flesh is going to kick in. But the Lord is what? Not unrighteous to forget our works, you know, so he's going to pay us back. And how do we know that? And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works. Read the book of James, the 2nd chapter. And by faith, whereby ye have believed. But what happened? Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For what? I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So for you brothers that, you know, hey, blessed are you that are able to understand his ministry without any, you know, offenses. When you read the book of, let me get this, John. Let me get this. There you go. No. Well, I mean, I can get this too. This is a good precept. This is Matthew 11:6, but this one in John. And blessed is he whoever shall not be offended in me. Why? Because you understand that the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua are not a way of the Western world. The stoning, the killing of those that don't want to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You can't be offended in that. The long hair. You can't even cut your damn long hair off, man. You can't be offended in that. Let me get this. It should be in the book of John. There it is. There it is. Yep, there it is. There it is. This is John 15 and verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain. And this is why Yahweh Shem Yahushua has certain brothers, really mainly those that are the Great Millstone, on down, you know, those camps that, you know, follow under the Great Millstone doctrine, because they teach this truth without, you know, any blocks, without any how would you say, you know, without any any blemishes, man. Teaching you the whole thing teaching this whole word without any you know, blemishes, man. Teaching you everything, which is why when I read the book of Acts 20, what it said, I have not shunned to declare unto you the whole counsel of the Most High, everything. We don't care how you feel about, you know, what the scriptures say, because at the end of the day, this is our salvation. And the elect, the hopeful elect, they're going to be able to receive this word regardless. So why all that, you know, get offensive? I don't believe in this. You guys are saying you're all racist, this and cool, but, you know, handle. Wait until them chariots pull up, and you're going to see who the true men of Yahweh Shem Yahushua were. The true men of, quote unquote, Jesus Christ were. You're going to see. John 15 and 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye shall go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit shall remain. For whatsoever ye ask of the Father in the name, he may give it to you. Verse 17, these things I command you, that ye love one another. Hold on, verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. Why did it hate him? Because he wasn't preaching things of this Western society. All this, we need to love and come together in this. Why did the Lord literally say, why did the Israelites say that ye have nothing to do to me, to, you know, ye have nothing to do with building the temple with us? To the to the if I'm not mistaken, who was it? The Indians.
Suddenly,
let me just get it. It's in the book right here. They have nothing to do to build the temple with us. When we're building the temple game, and they're like, yeah, I got it right here. There it is. Ezra. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, Ye have nothing to do with us to build a house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, the Persians, hath commanded us to. You see, y'all have nothing, you heathens have nothing to do with what we have building on for our Father right now, man. This is only for the elect and really mainly, the brothers that, understand His ministry, understand this truth. John 15:20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they also will persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will also keep yours. They're going to keep our sayings, man. Everything we teach. And there it is. This is the point. John 15:21. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Who was the one that sent Yahweh Shai? Let's go down to verse 23. He that hateth me, hateth my Father also. Point blank, period. There it is. Bang. You brothers that are able to understand this ministry, go out to the highways and the byways and teach this truth, and make your bodies a living sacrifice. You're not even scared to bring out the whole matter of the whole truth. Even if you think you look crazy and sound crazy, guess what? They don't hate you. They're not tripping on the police, and the government's not tripping over you. Who are they tripping over? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And it's the same thing all over again. What did King Herod do when Yahweh Shai was being born? He literally sent off all of his military to go and kill off the firstborn. Now, how much more us that have the truth have a more fair word of prophecy? Man, you brothers, man, you guys are blessed to be able to understand this truth and not be offended of it and everything that comes with it. That's really the main point of this lesson, because that's what I heard from, I was watching the lesson of GMS Orlando, and they were bringing that out, that, hey, man, this ain't you're supposed to take this truth and take it all in. You're not supposed to go and pick a little. They may have a little bit of truth, but there's a little bit of truth over here and a little bit of truth. Nah, this is why the scriptures called us, those virgins, those chaste virgins. Why? Because we didn't fall into these other philosophies. We literally stuck to the script. What do we say when we're out there teaching on the highways and the byways? Prove it in the scriptures. Prove it in the scriptures. Let's see. Come bring it out in the scriptures. Let's see. And then again, only the elect are going to be able to understand the scriptures, because then you're going to have those that bring Acts the 10th chapter, those Christians. You see, we can eat every little foul beast in the scriptures. He ate all this abomination. No. But the point being is, you brothers that are able to understand this ministry in its full sense, hey, that's a blessing in itself, man. So with that, I don't want to this lesson was edifying. I want to close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Makakudash, Shalom.